So folks, we thought we'd just do a little bit of a series here on Riley's preparation to be started under saddle. So the deal here is come summer, he'll be 4 years old, so he's going to take part in the Young Horse Starting School. So myself and a very select group of students are going to be starting some horses. So I'll be helping them start theirs, and I'll be demonstrating me starting Riley, which is going to be interesting because, you know, we don't know exactly how it's going to go, but we're preparing for a best possible outcome. So one of the things that I've asked for this school is that these horses come tame. Now, if you understand the 4 stages of horse development, it starts with tame. Then it goes to starting, then it goes to foundation, and then specialization. So if these horses are tame, in other words, they don't feel threatened, they don't feel that they are under threat at any time, it's going to be a lot easier for us. There's going to be new things to them, and you introduce horses to new things, and that's going to be a bit of a struggle for them initially. So I'm just going to run through some things here as far as what I would do, or what I would ask them to accept before I think about going into that process. And this is from the point of view, it's a bit of a luxury really, that I do have the time to prepare him, and it's not starting today. I started this the first time I handled him, and I think, how old were you then? Maybe 6 months old or something like that, and I handled him, and he was a scared little boy and all these things. And little by little we've scratched our way to becoming friends and yielded our way to him becoming a little more respectful and all these things. So now we just want to have that in balance. We have a bit of a deadline for having all those things balanced up to where he can go to boarding school. Well, this is the boarding school, he doesn't have to go anywhere, we're doing it here. So the first thing really is acceptance. The more we ask him to accept, the more accepting he's going to become, the more mentally accepting he'll become of new things. So it wouldn't surprise you that sensation's going to be at the top of that list. Can we touch him everywhere? And interestingly enough, for him, brushing him was a bit of an issue. Certainly brushing his legs, very, very sensitive around the legs, that type of thing. So this is why when I was doing a little something one time there with my other horse, Unity, I said, you don't worry about grooming them. Grooming them is not important. Now, I don't mean don't groom them. What I mean is you should be doing things to prepare them for grooming first. You don't try and groom them and get into a fight. So these little things here are the type of thing that I would do before I fuss too much about grooming a horse, okay? And I've had lots of horses come to me to be started from students, and the students could do these things at home the same way I'm doing them here. But in this environment where they have some separation anxiety, they have some issues with the environment, the new environment, they're on an alert. So now all of a sudden they can't handle this. So this isn't quite enough. We need to do more than this. You might think if we just go about everything nice and gentle, then that would be a lovely way for him. But we need to think about what is going to be best for him. Okay, so when I do these things, I want to get to that point, and then I'm going to see, well, how fast can I do it? And I've got a gauge here, his ears were forward, so I thought, oh, how fast can I go? And oops, guess what I just did? I just hit him on the rump. Now, this isn't something that should happen, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to happen. Just about every horse that's ever been ridden, sooner or later, when somebody's mounting or dismounting, that leg goes and hits them in the hip or the rump. Or their spur catches and it grates across their rump like that, depending on which side they're getting off on. And there's plenty of horses that are gentle enough and quiet enough and accepting enough for you to get on well, but you've got to prepare them for when things go a bit wrong. And it usually happens that it's a couple of things or more at the same time. So you're getting on, maybe you're not paying attention, maybe your reins aren't where they should be, or you're getting off one or the other. Something's got them a little bit on alert. You dig your spur into the side of them or bang them with your knee or something like that. And I mean, all of a sudden they jump, and then your reins aren't there, and geez, that spirals downhill real quick. So I am going to be doing things like, and yeah, that was a deliberate slap. I can make that not slap, but that's a deliberate slap. But of course, it's just one little thing and amongst a bunch of things that actually work out okay. So that works out okay, that works out okay. And then there's that one that just, oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that. Hard to do that on a horse that you haven't prepared a bit. So these are all just realistic things. You go to get on, you're a bit clumsy, oh, you kicked him in the rump. Okay, you go to get off, catch him with your spur, something like that. And then we'll just go back to, you see, he's just, what the hell, why is that so rough? There you go, you're okay. All right, so we're preparing him, we're preparing for reality, for what actually happens here. There's an area, I mean, it's really hard to overdo this deal here. And we'll just move a little bit here, Riley. Thank you, my friend. This, I'll call it an L, although you'll appreciate it's upside down. Basically, we'll call that the knee, from the knee up to the elbow and along, that is a very sensitive area. So I'm going to run my knee from there to there to there. Now, little things that can come out, they can turn and grab hold of you with their teeth, they can cow kick at you, they could do both at the same time if you're real lucky, you get sandwiched in between. I've had horses drop to their knees doing that. So I don't actually start like that. What I'm going to do here is come up by the point of a shoulder. And you'll have some horses that's going to be too much for them anyway. Whoever does that, you know, and then you come here to here to here, back along. That area there, you want to get as much handling in that area as you can, both sides. All right, so we might even use the rope a little bit here. And this is an interesting one. We can look at this and say, okay, that prepares them for the girth or the cinch. It does to some degree, but it doesn't mean they're not going to buck. Okay, now he's looking at to think, do I go sideways? Thank you for asking. There we go. If he was a bit concerned about that, what I might do is I might, hang on, let's just turn this way so they can see. There we go. Okay, so I might turn my wrist to make that tighter, ask him to move forwards and then release. Okay, ask him to move forwards and then release. It's not a bad deal if you're getting on a horse for the first time and they're thinking going forward. Forwards is a lot better than bucking. Forwards, I can orchestrate the feed, I can get that kind of worked out. So all those type of things, we want to work in there, don't we, mate? Well done, okay. Sensation, motion. I'm going to pony him from another horse. So there'll be a flag up here and there'll be a zone that he won't be very happy with. There'll be an area there. So I want to know what he's apt to do. So when we introduce these things, we want to introduce them kind of quietly and gently. And we've done a little bit of this, haven't we, Riley? But then I want to actually see how much I can get done and where is that point that he would get a little bothered, and then get to a point where that doesn't bother him. So initially, you know, it'll be a gentle approach, maybe a quicker retreat, but a gentle approach. But then we're going to get past that. We're going to start doing things like this. And I'm going to walk towards his hind. Now he tightens right up when I do that. I'll take a little retreat. He tightens right up, I take a little retreat. So he's doing his best just to hang in there. The retreat is going to be the thing that's going to cause his relaxation and calmness. So this isn't one of those deals where you go, let's just do this until they relax. It's not the time for that. This is where we say, let's teach him that he can relax by knowing there's a retreat going to come. All right, my little friend. So it's very obvious with him, with the way he held his head up, with the fact that when I stepped towards him here, he did a little ab tuck, you know, does a little crunch. Now, can he actually lower his head at the same time? That was pretty good. So you might look at that and go, but you're not going to be doing that. Well, that's the point. So what we've got here is he's standing still. There's very low energy. There's no motion. Heart rate's pretty low, probably a little bit higher now, but it was low. So I'm adding a lot of energy to bring that energy up high. When I'm on him and cantering, there will be probably a similar level of energy. So I want to make sure we're preparing him for that. If he can handle this, we've got a better chance of being able to canter without him losing his mind. Okay? So it's not just about tiptoeing around them. Now, I should add, this isn't the first time I've been that vigorous. The first time I was that vigorous, he moved a lot. So, you know, we're making progress. Still not his favorite thing. I really don't know why my flags rip. All right, Riley. So we're going to do this and try and lower his head at the same time. And that's a really good indicator to see if he can still have the state of mind to yield to steady pressure. Well done. Okay, so that's just a little snapshot into some of the things that I would want to be able to do before I put him into the starting program.